Yo, what's going on? So we were I got yelled at because we were doing updates on Dunkey, like reaction videos and stuff for a while. It completely fell off, but you knew that was going to happen anyways. Okay, some things went down. You know what I mean? Y'all know what's going on. Y'all read the posts and stuff, but we're getting back into it now. And now that I have no choice to be on the gaming channel, we're going to do this video on video game pricing because I just talked to my homie Marvel about it too, and you know, where should we go? The most popular topic, obviously, is probably what this is about is AAA pricing. Dunkey cares a lot about AAA pricing. You know, the average game cost was like, what, $40 when I first started having to buy video games. And so I only bought used for the longest time. And the GameStop, you know, buy two, get one free sale thing. It was kind of a meme on the channel because there was a group of people who were too young for that. So they thought it was a lie. So we memed them for a long time about it. But yeah, that was the only time I bought. So I could never afford the $40 price tag. And then as an adult, $50, like $49, has been about the average for games for a while since I could afford games. And they just keep going up, you know, with DLC and everything. By the time you're done pricing everything out, you're spending probably about $80 for a AAA game. And that versus like mobile games, that might be like free to download, but with microtransactions, people are spending really, on average, upwards of about $500 on a lot of these games. And I know a lot of you people who don't have money are like, what? What are you talking about? But like, yeah, I know people who spend $20 a week on mobile games easy, you know, just on gyms and boosts and things like that. It's actually pretty easy to do when you have like consistent work. So you have to be really disciplined to kind of not fall into those habits to be spending just a ridiculous amount of money on your mobile gaming. So, but yeah, let's get into it, dude. Yeah, the price has kind of just steadily gone up over the years to sustain. But one of the cool thing is, you know, because of Steam and all that, like indie companies have a real way to like a real avenue to make consistent money off of projects. You know, overworked, underpaid, definitely, but at the same time, you know, it is possible. So, I don't know. Let's get into it though. This is a $2,000 video. Jesus Christ. Let's do it. Play.
Video games are an expensive hobby, but at the same time, games are cheaper and more accessible today than ever before. When the Atari 2600 launched in 1977, it cost $200, which doesn't sound too horrible until you adjust for inflation and realize that was like it costing $900. Imagine paying $900 to play this.
Some game, huh? Some game!
$60. This is what you expect to pay for a brand new AAA video game. But where did this price come from? Well, in those initial Atari days, games were going for $20 to $30. So pretty good deal. Wait a minute. What the fuck?
Inflation.
$120 for Plaque Attack? Oh no. $120 to play Oink. Oink, ladies and gentlemen. $120 to play tax avoiders. Why did you have to avoid paying your taxes? Because video games cost $120. God damn. Jump to NES times. Games are now $60, which was like $150. Jesus Christ. However, the price point would remain at $60 going into future console generations. So while the value of the dollar dropped, video games were subtly becoming cheaper with each passing year, except when they try to sell Turok for $80 for Turok.
There better be over 80 dinosaurs in this game.
$60 is still a lot of money today, but for a top-of-the-line video game that you are going to play and enjoy for the rest of your life, a work of art that developers poured years of their lives into, $60 for that? That's just a good deal. The joke is, how many $60 games meet that criteria? These dumbass games out here, you should be paying me $60 to play this bullshit. The price of a game has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of a game. Madden costs as much as Mario Odyssey.
Not at all.
Assassin's Creed is $60, and Red Dead 2 is $60. Cyberpunk is an unfinished game. Doesn't matter, $60. Doom Eternal is one of the best shooters of all time. Also $60.
$60.
You walked into a car dealership and you could buy a Rolls Royce for the same price as a used PT Cruiser. Where it gets even more absurd is when you take into account indie games. Celeste, Cuphead, Sonic Mania, Inside, Gungeon. These are some of the best games you can play, and they cost $20. Meanwhile, Metal Gear Survive is $30. Sonic Forces was $40. Balan Wonderworld was $60. What the fuck are are these prices? They're just picking an arbitrary number out of Balan's golden hat.
I mean, they're picking friendly numbers, right? They're picking like numbers you expect to pay, the numbers they know people are willing to spend to be unsatisfied, you know, and the cheap games and the shitty games, not cheap, shitty games are riding the coattails of really good games. So they're marketing them as good games just to make the check, even though they know the product is ass, you know?
Marketing will forever manipulate gamers into wanting to buy the brand new cutting edge game, even when there's nothing new about the game because it's all built on recycled technology from years ago. My question is, why is everyone in such a rush to play a new shitty game that isn't even finished yet, that cost a lot of money, when you motherfuckers haven't even played any of the classics that have been out for years? Why are you trying to play Mass Effect Andromeda when you haven't even played Mass Effect 2? Why are you buying
Ask my wife, yeah.
You haven't even played Metal Gear Solid? Why are you buying any game when you haven't even played Mario Galaxy yet? You big bitch. I feel like I just have to start showing up at GameStops at this point. When I see somebody pick up a dumbass game, I just knock it out of their hand like, no, go pick a better game. God of War is $17, Uncharted is $16, Doom is $25, Phantom Pain is $18, Devil May Cry is $20.
This is it.
Don't let me catch you out here spending $70 on Lawn Mowing Simulator.
Okay, it went down to $24 and it was one tweet. I didn't actually buy it.
Like I know you will. I will come down on you for doing some bullshit like this. Even good games drop in value fast. Ubisoft junk even faster. More than ever, video games are fighting over your money, and as the industry grows, so do your options as a consumer.
They do not. Nintendo, they do not ever.
Games drop in value fast 2 seconds ago. I was talking about every game that isn't made
except Nintendo.
Nintendo games are expensive. Skyward Sword is a 10-year-old Wii game, $60. Mario Kart came out in 2014. Doesn't matter, $60. Why are they so expensive? Because it says Nintendo on it. Nintendo is the name brand in video games. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, which could be considered the pinnacle of their genre. Not to mention 3D platformers, which you might as well just call the 3D Mario game genre at this point. Not only is Nintendo the best game developer today, but they have been for 4 decades. And this is how they get away with selling Kirby for $60. Nintendo games are not created equally, but they are sold as equals. Mario Odyssey is $38, and Splatoon 2 is $55. And I just gotta sit here and say, okay, while I would gladly pay $100 for a game as good as Pikmin 3, I feel disgusted and insulted when you ask $60 for a Pokemon Sword. Get the fuck out of here. I'll give you $1 for this game.
Get out of here.
Have you ever heard the expression?
Well, the one thing before we move on to free-to-play games is also Nintendo, because Nintendo never drops the price of their games, you can't mass buy game keys at a lower price or sale price and then flood the market with sale keys, undermining the price of the regular game, meaning you have to reduce the price of the regular game to compete with, you know, the sales the last time you went on sale. So they never go on sale, which means they never go on sale. Which, for PC games, one developer releases the game on 4 different consoles. It doesn't sell, so they reduce the price for a weekend sale to make some money. Well, then people buy a bunch of keys at a cheaper price and then resell them. And now all of a sudden, your $60 game has been devalued by half permanently because I can always go get a key somewhere else. You know, so by never going on sale, you preserve basically your price for your future releases. So again, it doesn't have to be based on value of the product and based off of, you know, just the economics of it, right? Your money and value are not the same thing. You know, you know, the user experience with money and your marketing goals with money are not at all ever going to match up. So just remember that.
Have you ever heard the expression, the best things in life are free? League of Legends, Valorant, Fortnite, all of the best video games are free. Wait, the $60 annual franchise is now a dinosaur. Call of Duty and Battlefield are higher quality games, but they've monetized in such an exploitive way that people are flocking to free-to-play titles instead. Why pay $60 for a game with a 1-year lifespan when they're still updating Fortnite with free content years later? Then you got Overwatch over here, $40 for a game that is 10 times more polished and replayable than any Call of Duty or Battlefield, and they added how many characters and maps to that game over the years. And now Halo Infinite is going free to play. $60 for this bullshit? This is over.
Happy New Year, Xbox.
Now, back
Game
in
Pass.
This must have been around 1910. There was a rental store called Block.
Yeah,
Had
buddy.
a deal called Game Pass where you could pay a monthly fee to keep out 1 or 2 games, and you could come in whenever you wanted and swap them out for another game. Back then, this was the best way to game the system.
Absolutely.
I remember Blockbuster always had that movie Pirates, and it didn't have Johnny Depp in it. I think this was a different version of the movie. Today, that deal lives on as the Xbox Game Pass. For $15 a month, you can get access to a pretty decent library of games. I think it's
That's
something
pretty
like
good.
300 games, and there is some really good stuff in here. The only thing wrong with the Xbox Game Pass is that the second I recommend this to people, you already know snake ass Microsoft is going to triple the price on this thing.
That sucks. It is pretty good, though.
Many of the best video games out there are not available on any modern devices. Say you want to play a Sega Saturn game. Well, first you're going to need the console. What the fuck? And then the game. Let's look for Panzer Dragoon.
Oh, don't.
$1,700.
Don't. Yeah, dude. They're crazy.
Now, remember when I said that games drop in value? We are at a point where remastered versions of games are now outdated. Metal Gear Solid 4 is still only playable on the PS3. Ridge Racer? That doesn't exist. What are you talking about? Do you mean Renzo Racer?
Hell no. What the fuck?
Good. GoldenEye? What the fuck is Golden? Are you talking about Golden Teeth? That's not a real game. I think you're thinking of the Watch Dogs 2 Golden City bundle. Tekken 3?
That game is great.
About the Tekken 7 Season Pass 3? Beautiful Joe. What? You mean Joe's Diner? Emulation is pretty much the only practical way
Yeah.
to get at classic games. If it's on arcade, NES, SNES, Genesis, PS1, Game Boy, DS, PS2, N64, or GameCube, you can probably emulate it. Now, this may or may not technically be legal, but this is just a straight up fucking crime. And what's nice about emulating games is that they're all free. Remember, back in the
Right.
70s, this was $150.
Tough.
Today, it's a 7 kilobyte file.
Boom. Classic. Worth your time.
Are cheeseburgers really this bad for your teeth?
I'm glad that was actually a really good breakdown of it. What does this guy say? The price of retail games have generally been pretty affordable over the years when you take inflation into consideration. Furthermore, any type of retro game has ever increased in value. The resale value that is great for the consumers. However, the Dunkey has mentioned if those are $60 half-finished games that built around microtransactions that don't deserve to be $60, we need to stop buying and pre-ordering those type of games. We're only hurting ourselves. Future gamers would start thinking us is the norm when it isn't. Yeah, I mean, hey man, it's one of those things where like they're really catching you by your pants here. You know, you play a lot of games that really aren't satisfying, that don't have a lot of replay value, and you were like waiting for new games because we've been buying games that we're not interested in finishing. We weren't even interested in really playing in the first place. You know, and me and Screw fell into this habit really good. When the price for games were good, we were doing it really a lot, like 2 or 3 years ago. But it started catching up to us that games just weren't that good, and we weren't not playing them because we didn't like to. You know, we weren't playing them because they weren't good. Like, we enjoyed gaming just as much, but the games themselves were just not worth the value. You know, and, you know, it is exciting waiting for new things. And it's okay to be excited for new games that aren't going to be released and finished because you know how the marketing system works. But at the same time, I haven't pre-ordered. Like, I'm not a pre-orderer. You know, when Mass Effect Remaster came out, I knew I was going to like it because it's a remaster of a game that I like. Still didn't pre-order it. You know? So, you know, you definitely need to be more disciplined. But it's going to take the rest of the community a long time to kind of catch up to where everyone else is. Because most people aren't on the internet as much as we are. Weirdly enough. We're becoming the majority of people. But the realization of, like, what does that mean for, like, real gamers is still, like, you know, there's a lot of variety out there. People still have to try, like, a lot of stuff before they finally figure out, like, it's just not worth the price tag. And we're going to have to wait for something else. But anyways, I'll keep buying games when they go on sale. I'll keep buying keys of stuff when they're available, when appropriate, you know. Playing old games like Total War and random stuff I talk about. You know, we find like game keys and they come really cheap. You know what I mean? It's like it's worth $8 to buy this game that's freaking 6 years old. You know, I think that's the best way to do it. But I'll see you guys around, man. Let me know what you think. Peace.